Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Navigating Mercury Retrograde Tarot reading. Mercury is going retrograde in Leo on July 26th and will remain retrograde until August 19th. And I believe it will stay in the sign of Leo the entire retrograde. So, what does that mean for you? Well, it means many different things for each and every one of you. I have created timestamps for each sign to take a look at those energies. I will talk a little bit about Mercury retrograde in general. So if you are not interested in that information, go ahead to your timestamp for your reading. And for those of you who are interested in this information, Mercury retrograde is kind of a fuzzy, weird time. Communications can get really skewed, misunderstandings. If you go through any sort of fast food drive-through, check your order, check the change that you're given back, like whether you're at a gas station or a grocery store or anywhere, make sure that like the money you're being given back is correct. Be very mindful of where you place things. Be very mindful of any sort of contract that you're signing, any sort of legal binding, anything. Really read the fine print. It's just miscommunication, misunderstanding is very high during a Mercury retrograde. And also technology twacks out on us for some reason. And so double and triple save your work. Don't rely on technology for the next couple weeks. Just really be diligent on saving things and, making sure everything is backed up and so that nothing gets lost. Also, with Mercury retrograde, things of the past return, okay? And that's like all kinds of stuff, like stuff that you thought that you had lost could actually return to you. I will say this, I had this dining room table and I gave it away, and the person I gave it away to somebody they knew, and like 12 years later, during a Mercury retrograde, that table actually came back to me. And because of that, just the whole circumstance of it, I actually have hung on to that table. I don't use it, but I can't seem to let it go just because of the circumstance and the way it returned. It's just like a reminder to me, and hopefully one day I will use it again, but for now I don't. But anyways, things return in a retrograde. This is relationships, this is situations, things you thought you overcame, because if you didn't really overcome them or there's still unfinished business, that's what a Mercury retrograde is going to bring back into your life, okay? So look your best at all times in public over the next few weeks, because you do not know who you're going to run into. And it's like a situation that is like, just, you're like, oh my God, I cannot believe, you'll never believe who I saw, and it's just in such a random place, like at the gas station, when it's 5 in the morning and you just ran there to get some coffee or something and you look horrible and you're like, oh my God, there's my ex, or, there's my sworn enemy, just something like that, So just look on point at all times during this retrograde, and, don't be too surprised if you run into people, you find out information, people return to you, you feel this strong longing and urge to return to others, you're having dreams about them. I mean, Mercury retrograde is just such it's the twilight zone, if you ask me personally. But I will say this, positive things do come with the Mercury retrograde as well, okay? It's not all doom and gloom. It's just really contingent upon your personal journey, your personal natal chart. All of those things factor into how you are going to experience any particular Mercury retrograde, all right? And how much you have learned up to this point on your journey. So, just be prepared, look your best, double, triple save, back up your stuff, pay attention to the fine print of anything. You know, again, check your orders, have a lot of patience with people, okay? Because again, misunderstanding, miscommunication is very likely. So the more patience you have for others, that's a patient place you create for yourself when others are dealing with you. If you happen to have some sort of slip up, you know, or screw up, because those happen. So also, big time, pay attention when you're texting who you're texting, okay? Make sure you're sending it to the right person, or emailing, or sending a message, or whatever. If you're like stalking somebody's social media, be very careful that you don't actually accidentally hit a like button or something if you don't want them to know you're there looking, all right? Just very cautious, be careful, make sure your emails, your messages are going to who you want them to go to, and be prepared that you may receive some unintended correspondence that were not meant or intended for you or your eyes, okay? So I will start with Sagittarius. If you are not a Sagittarius, go ahead to the timestamp below for your sign. All right, Sagittarius. So to keep this kind of light, we're going to just take a look here at what energy is being activated in you. And this is, you know, we're looking at the past, what is returning back into Sagittarius's life through this Mercury retrograde. And we're looking at the positive things, okay? I mean, good God, I think Mercury makes this sixth planet, including Chiron. Chiron's not a planet, but Chiron's retrograde right now. And then with Uranus, it doesn't make 7. Yeah, because Uranus is about to go retrograde too. So Sagittarius, let's keep this on the positive note, okay? Everybody's going through a lot. We're in the midst of eclipse season. It's just too much. So let's see what part of you is being activated, highlighted during this retrograde. Oh my goodness me. We have Mercury. So Sagittarius, with this, just be very cautious of your communication and what's being said to you. You know, if somebody is saying something and it's really triggering you or making you mad, pull back and be like, am I hearing this right? Am I perceiving these words correctly? If you're reading something, reread it to make sure that you're reading it correctly, because Mercury showing up says, hey, Sagittarius, there could be a lot of miscommunications for you, okay? But with this being, we're looking at what's returning. This retrograde could very well bring about conversations that you wanted to have, or people wanted to have with you in the past, but they did not take place, okay? So conversations of the past happening in this retrograde for Sagittarius, okay? And so I'm going to pull a couple more cards just to get more information about, you know, what could be returning for you during this Mercury retrograde in Leo, because the 5th house is the things that make you happy, right? It's your passion, it's your creative talent, it's, you know, romance, all that good fun stuff. I'm starting to learn a bit about Vedic astrology, which I might kind of start adding into the readings. So you guys had Grove fly out while I was shuffling, and now we have Fragment. How beautiful for those to come out together for what's returning to you, Sagittarius. Listen, there's conversations that didn't take place. There are words that were left unspoken inside of you and inside of others, you know, just depending on your personal situation. And this retrograde is bringing about the opportunity for those conversations to take place for either A, healing and reconciliation, or you're finally going to have the missing pieces so that you understand why something happened, or why you were rejected, or why somebody lied, or why you were kept in the dark about something, or why this didn't work out, okay? It's like you're going to receive information, missing pieces so that you can connect all the dots, and different situations or a very specific situation of your past will finally make sense to you through this retrograde, okay? As well as conversations with people of the past. This could be friends, this could be family, this could be coworker, this could just be, you know, somebody that you know, kind of, and there was something you wanted to tell them and you never did, or there's something they wanted to tell you and never did. So, you know, unexpected conversations could definitely unfold for Sagittarius during this Mercury retrograde. And all the things I talked about in the intro, just because Mercury is showing up for you, really pay attention to all of those things, okay? And just be very diligent when sending messages through text or email or any sort of social media. Be very, very cautious of that during this retrograde, okay? So Sagittarius, those are your messages for this retrograde. It looks like it's all about, you know, conversations and words unspoken, as well as healing and things finally making sense. So I am wishing you all the very best, Sagittarius. Take care. All right, hello Capricorn. Let's pull a card to see what is being activated inside of you through this retrograde. I'm going to look at this as more of a positive read, just because of all the different retrogrades we have going on right now, eclipse season, like my God. So this is positive, all right? This is what's returning to Capricorn on a positive level through this retrograde. What is being activated from the past inside of Capricorn. So we have Vesta. This is has a lot to do with your spirituality, okay? Maybe something that made you go against yourself, go against your integrity, go against like some sort of self-sacrifice you did, something that you were like, God, why did I stick around and put up with that for so long? Or why did I ever put myself through that situation? Like that type of energy is being activated inside of you, but it's, you know, more or less like that those situations or experiences may be returning somehow, some way. And now here you are saying, you know what, no, I don't want that again. I'm actually going to clean up my energy about this. So you guys are doing some sort of energetic cleaning spiritually, emotionally, mentally, of like energies and residues of the past, of choices that you're not, like, you would make a different choice now, okay? And it's just like this retrograde's bringing those things up, and it's to rid yourself of any residue of a past that is no longer attached to your now, okay? So let's pull a couple of other cards here to see what else is returning to Capricorn through this retrograde. Okay. So we actually had two cards fly out. We have movement and the High Priestess of Air. Yup, just like I said with that card. It's like you are moving on from things of the past, all right? It's like you have a new mind, a new sense about so many things. Some of you, old ideas of like, if you wanted to relocate to a different state or a different country, this retrograde is either bringing about the idea of that again or opportunity for that, okay? Or some sort of unexpected vacation may be offered to Capricorn through this Mercury retrograde, and it's just everything you need to like detoxify your mind and your energy field. We're moving on from something of the past, and this retrograde brings it back full force, but it's more either like for you to see that, yeah, you made the right decision in the past by letting it go, or if it's a person or situation that rejected you, you're finally in that place where you see it from a much different perspective of, thank God, like I dodged a bullet type of energy. So Capricorn, this is very positive. There's a lot of forward momentum of energy for you guys, and your mind is going to become quite clear through this retrograde, which is actually interesting. Because like I said, retrograde is like the twilight zone, okay? But it's like this energy is allowing you guys to see things very clearly, okay? And movement forward from the past, but in a positive way. It's like what you want is spiritual growth, is consciousness evolution for Capricorn through this Mercury retrograde. So I think it's quite positive. You know, I don't see any sort of red flag, to be honest, at least not in this reading. Doesn't mean that, you know, it can't be, but in this reading, it looks very positive. Movement away from the past in a positive consciousness expanded way, okay? So Capricorn, those are your messages for this Mercury retrograde. I am wishing you all the very best. Take care. Hi, Aquarius. So I've decided that this retrograde reading is going to be of the positive nature, since we have so many things in retrograde right now. Most people fear Mercury retrograde. We're in the midst of eclipse season. So let's look at what's returning to Aquarius through this retrograde in a positive fashion, in a positive sense, okay? But we're going to start by pulling a card to see what is being activated inside of you through this Mercury retrograde. And it will be attached to your past somehow, some way. Oh, wow. Look at here. You guys got Mercury. So Sagittarius also received this. I just want to point out with this, Aquarius, really pay attention to the communications that you're having with others and what's being said to you, because there could be, with Mercury coming out as what's being highlighted in you, it's like there could be a big time misunderstanding. So just be very cautious of your communications. If you read something and it offends you, reread it to make sure that you read it correctly the first time, okay? If you're sending any sort of message correspondent, make sure you're sending it to the right person, okay? But with that said, and this being what's activated inside of you, Aquarius, this Mercury retrograde is all about having conversation and communication that you didn't have in the past, that you wanted to have or needed to have. Words left unspoken inside of you, or words left unspoken inside of others, and they are wanting to express that to Aquarius. So for you guys, it's all about conversations that didn't happen and words that were left unspoken. So let's pull a couple of other cards to see, you know, what comes out with that. Be prepared. You know, the universe may just set it up for you, or, you know, somebody may reach out to you and it's just like you're finally able to say what you really wanted to say, for the good or the bad. It's like you're able to speak your piece or speak your true heart about something, okay? So let's see, what is returning to Aquarius? All right, so we have complicated and we have a chaos. Now, since this is positive, Aquarius, and we have Mercury here, which is about communication and intellectual understanding, what I see is things in the past that were just really convoluted, just drama, things you were really mixed up about, unsure about, unsettled about, situations, relationships that were just like a total train wreck of a mess. Like, I don't know how to make heads or tails of this. Why did this happen? Like, I don't even know. That is what's coming back to you, is the understanding of those energies. And finally, where there was the storm, we have the rainbow and the sun. Where there was complication and confusion, we now are having understanding. So for you guys, it's like through conversation or information coming to you guys during this retrograde brings about the clarity that you didn't have before about a very specific relationship, very specific situation, or multiple situations and relationships. It's all about that final understanding, that final piece of the puzzle. And some of you, it's like it's finally speaking how you truly feel about these situations that you've gone through, and it could be attached to a very specific person, and you finally saying all those unspoken words, or somebody finally telling you all those unspoken words. All right, so it's all about communication and understanding for you guys with this Mercury retrograde. And I just thought I would pull the next card to see, if that would yield a bit more information about what, particular area of your life. But what I get here is the Moon card. Mercury goes retrograde on June 27th. You guys have your full moon total lunar eclipse on July 27th, the very next day. So this, Aquarius, is a very powerful time for you between now and the end of August, when we have the next full moon in Pisces. Expect these conversations to come to you between now and then. Expect a lot of change. And with the moon, there's like an understanding inside of you. You just know things, like you're sensing some of these things that are returning to you. And ultimately, it's leading you back to a place of beauty and love for whatever that means to you specifically, okay? Personally, in your personal life, on your personal journey, in your personal path. So what I see is beauty where there was complication, and love where there was chaos. This is beautiful healing. Look, this is card 9 and this is card 10. How more perfect can that be, Aquarius? This is a powerful time for you, okay? Your total lunar eclipse, and that leading into that Pisces full moon, and then Mercury is retrograde between now and the 19th of August. So between now and the end of August is very powerful time for you. A lot of conversations to be had, and a great deep healing for Aquarius. That is for sure. So those are your messages for this Mercury retrograde, Aquarius. I'm wishing you all the very best. Take care. Hello, Pisces. So since we have so many things retrograde and we're in the middle of eclipse season, I want to do a more positive outlook for the Mercury retrograde. What's returning to Pisces in a positive way, okay? So I'm going to pull a card here to see what's being activated inside of you, and this is definitely something that is attached to your past, all right? So we have Vesta, very interesting. Capricorn had this, and the reason why I say interesting is because I've done Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and now you. And we had Mercury come out for Sagittarius and Aquarius, and now we've had Vesta come out for Capricorn, and now you. So it's gone Mercury, Vesta, Mercury, and now Vesta. This to me, Pisces, is like a final release of residual energies of the past, where your consciousness is expanding in a big way. Your spiritual essence is like ascending somehow, some way, and you're releasing residual energies of lessons and experiences, relationships and situations that are still a part of your energy field, but are no longer a part of your journey because you've expanded beyond that. And during this retrograde, you are coming into the full realization of that expansion that you have achieved very naturally, very organically. Okay, Pisces, so let's pull a couple more cards to see what this is specifically speaking to. All right. So you guys have meditation. Wow. This is so amazing paired up with this Vesta. Oh, Pisces, so spiritual. And fragment. Wow. 25, 15, so we have like a jump of 10. So there's like a completion. And this card, actually Forbidden, was trying to like, it flipped over, but it didn't fall out, so I didn't take it. But this would be the very next card. So we're going to go ahead and bring that card out. Pisces, this is what I see. Where you held back and you were like, you know what? I am being rejected. I am being taken for granted. This situation is only causing me pain. This person is only causing me pain. This could be where somebody just straight out walked away from you out of nowhere, just left you hanging. It could be a friend. It could be a family member. It could be a lover, you know. It could be a situation where you were just cut out of it, kind of boom, out of nowhere. All right. It's like, through this Mercury retrograde, what rejected you, what shut you out, what left you fragmented, confused, lack of clarity, broken down, it's like all of that is returning to you, but in a sense of full spiritual understanding and expansion, where you're totally releasing all of that and moving on. Or it's like you, Pisces, those of you who did no sort of retaliation, okay, you were just like, you know what, this hurts really bad, but I'm just going to go ahead and be me and do me, and I'm going to let this play out. I'm going to let the universe handle this person or situation, okay? It's like I let go and I let God. And for those of you who have walked that path, this very well could mean what rejected you, Pisces, what spit in your face, is now back on its knees begging for you and your light to be a part of their life or back in that situation, just depending. This is a general reading, so it's different for each and every one of you, okay? So some of you, it's like where you were done very badly, very wrong, totally just like, I don't know, it's different for all of you, and you let go and just let God. I feel like that's coming back to you, where the coin has now flipped, and it's like Pisces, they're begging you, okay, or they're giving you the apology, or telling you that they were wrong and you were right. For others of you, this is like where you're receiving the information or the understanding where everything finally makes sense about why you were rejected, why this particular thing didn't work out, okay? It's like all of the pieces of the puzzle, whatever that puzzle is for you personally, Pisces, all of those pieces are coming to fit together during this Mercury retrograde, and you have a full understanding, just a huge expansion in your consciousness by the end of this, okay? So quite spiritual, quite deep, quite profound for Pisces. You will have to let me know for you guys what that means. It's just, wow, that was pretty deep, even for me. Anyways, Pisces, those are your messages. I am wishing you all the very best during this retrograde. Take care. Hello, Aries. So I'm going to keep this lighter and of a more positive nature, just because we have all these retrogrades going on. We have eclipse season going on. So I'm going to look at what's returning to you during this retrograde in a positive sense, okay? So let's look at what's being activated inside of you during this Mercury retrograde. And this is definitely something that's attached to your past, okay? Because this is what's returning to Aries during the Mercury retrograde cycle. All right, so we have Venus, the part of you that desires beauty, success, indulgence, and valuables. So Aries, this here, this being was activated inside of you. For many of you, this could be like romances returning back to Aries during this retrograde, okay? Also, this could be where just like flings or misconnections are all kind of returning to Aries. A lot of romantic type of running into or reconnecting with type of energy for Aries during this Mercury retrograde. Also with Venus, for those of you that have been struggling with like self-esteem issues, there's just like this energy moving over you where you are going to come in to like a new appreciation for yourself, a new love for yourself, a new value for yourself. With Venus, this could also be where, you know, some money or favor or some sort of material item that was owed to Aries is returning to Aries during this retrograde, okay? So let's pull a couple more cards to get more information. So for you guys, it's like romantic connections and material resources that you lost or are owed to you somehow, some way, are returning. Along with success. Hello, we like that. And self-worth. Yeah. Those of you who have been struggling with like self-esteem, self-worth issues, this retrograde is going to highlight that, but it's more like you're seeing the source of that. If it's like a particular person that really just sucked you dry of your self-esteem, you're going to recognize that. You're going to have success in overcoming it and feeling better about yourself and loving yourself and appreciating yourself and having value for yourself, okay? It's just like I feel some things that have rejected Aries are returning, and that's where it's making you feel kind of empowered, and you're like, damn right, I knew you'd be back, even though you really didn't, right? You were crying, feeling all bad about yourself this whole time, but you're not going to show them that. You're going to be having that front of, damn right, I knew you'd be back. So I feel like Aries, there's a lot of either like emotional, it could be flings, misconnections, old lovers, old romances, old serious relationships, friendships even, returning to Aries during, you know, this retrograde, wanting to reconnect with you somehow, some way. And it's really going to make you feel good about yourself. Also, it's like money owed to Aries, favors owed to Aries, also showing up big time. There's a success to be had for Aries during this Mercury retrograde that has to do with Venus, which is 2nd and 7th house, our finances, assets, resources, and our long-term relationships, whether they're love, friend, business, family, you know, whatever. So it's the return of the past, but in a good way for Aries during this retrograde, Mercury retrograde. So Aries, those are your messages. I am wishing you all the very best. Take care. Hi, Taurus. So I want to keep this reading fun and happy just because there's so much energy going on right now with all these retrogrades and the eclipse season. We're about to have the Aquarius full moon. So I am going to pull cards to see what's returning to you in a positive way, okay? What's coming back from the past during this Mercury retrograde in a positive sense, okay, Taurus? So let's pull a card here to see what's being activated inside of you. What's the energy, the magnetic pull to you of things of the past returning. Ooh, look at this. You guys got the sun. So with this, you guys are very magnetic to all things that are owed back to you. All right, Taurus, this could be, and the sun is the ruler of Leo. Leo is the 5th house, and that's where this Mercury retrograde is taking place. So I really feel like romances are going to be super highlighted. Old flings, old lovers, old crushes, old misconnections could definitely be the theme for Taurus during this retrograde. But deeper than that, like your creative talents and ambitions, goals, artistic abilities, you know, if you were like I want to do this, I want to showcase my artwork, or I want to write songs, or just something in the past, some sort of artistic dream, creative talent that you wanted to bring into but you were unable to, or you had to set it aside, some, dream of the past. It's like this retrograde is either bringing that up from the roots of your soul, making you want to give it a second go round, or there's new opportunities being presented to you that can bring that dream back to life. Okay, so very beautiful and positive energy for Taurus, this Mercury retrograde. Let's pull some more cards to see what else is coming back to Taurus, what else is returning. All right, so we have reminder. Yeah, this is definitely things from the past. This is all about the past, this card. But also with this, it's about making a different choice this time. So what's next is obedience. And I like that this is card 28 and this is card 48. Okay. So Taurus, what this is saying is whatever is returning from the past for you, whether it's a romance, whether it's an idea, a creative talent, an artistic ability, a goal, a dream, whatever it is for you, Taurus, that's returning from the past, you will have success this time around. However, you've got to make different choices than you did in the past, and you have to be very focused, diligent, obedient, disciplined in this. If it's a relationship, you've got to give it your all. If it's a dream you want to make happen, you've got to give it your all. If it's a natural, raw, creative talent that you have, but you need to grow it, if you put yourself all in, you will be magic, you will be golden, you will be blessed with it, okay? And because these two are pairing up, I feel like whatever is returning to Taurus, the reason why it didn't work in the past is because you were not focused to the extent that you needed to be, or focused in quite the right way, all right? And it's like part of your journey, part of your destiny, meant to be on your path, and that's why it's returning now, and you will have great success if you tweak, okay? You tweak the way you handled it before. You make a different decision. Think of the Temperance card, the balancing of energy, the tempering of energies within yourself, becoming the alchemist. And it's like you can make magic, Taurus. So this is beautiful, amazing energy for you guys. What's returning from the past definitely has a chance to be something amazing and great, but it's all about the energy you put into it and not making the same choice or mistake that you did in the past, okay? So Taurus, those are your messages for this Mercury retrograde. I am wishing you all the very best. Take care. Hi, Gemini. So I'm going to keep this Mercury retrograde tarot reading of more of a light nature, of more of a happy nature, just because we have all these retrogrades taking place. We have the eclipses going on, like all this crazy energy. So let's have a reading for something to look forward to, right? So we are going to pull cards to see what's returning to you through this Mercury retrograde in a positive sense, all right, Gemini? So we're going to pull a card here to see what energy inside of you is being reactivated during this Mercury retrograde. And we have a Saturn. So Saturn is typically the teacher, right? The planet of karma. And we're looking at the positive. So Gemini, this is something that you worked very hard on in the past, whether it's something physical and tangible, or this is some sort of like emotional, spiritual life lesson type of business, okay? It's like where you walked the line in the past and you did the right thing and you feel like you got burned or like the energy wasn't fair and things never really balanced out, it's like here is the return of that energy and the positive karma coming for Gemini in that situation or relationship, whatever it is for you. Some of you, this is in the career sector since this is Saturn, and it's like where you were overlooked, where you weren't promoted, where you weren't given that raise, the positive return is coming to you now, where either you are going to move to a completely better company where you're paid what you're worth and you enjoy the job so much more, or you're going to get that raise, you're going to get that promotion, you're going to get that movement, all right? This is positive karma returning for Gemini during this Mercury retrograde. So let's pull a couple more cards, Gemini, to see what accompanies this Saturn energy. It's like reward for a job well done. Okay, let's see how, nope, that's way too many. So your cards are definitely in this bunch right here, and I feel like it's right here. All right, yep, look at that. Your hard work, Gemini, your energy, your effort, you walking the line, you refusing to give in to other people's drama and crap and letting it go and letting God handling it, letting God, you know, dispense the karma, the punishment, whatever, not seeking revenge, not retaliating, not pushing against, just being very focused in the task at hand. This is just different for each and every one of you. But it's like where you walked the line, Gemini, where you did the right thing and you felt like you got burned. Now is the reward. Now is the return. Yep, look at this. This is, you know, the reminders of the past. Like, don't forget. And what's crazy is Taurus received both of these cards, but in the reverse. Okay, and you watched me shuffle, and then mix with hands, okay? So some of you, this is definitely related to a Taurus, all right? Or this is related to second house energy, which would be your finances, right? Your assets, and Saturn is attached to that 10th house, which is your career. So many of you, this is about money or career where you've worked hard, you walk the line, and now finally you are reaping the reward of all of your effort, okay? For others of you, this has nothing to do with finance or career. This is playing out in some other area of your life. This is a general reading, okay? And there is something from the past returning. However, Gemini, you making a different choice or doing something different than you did in the past for whatever's returning, that's the key to your success to make it work this second time around. Whether it's a relationship, a situation, whatever, okay? Whatever's returning to you, make a different choice this time and you will have success. Be incredibly focused, disciplined, and you will have success. And for others of you, this is where you did make a different choice and you did hold back and you were disciplined, and now here is the karmic reward for your energy and efforts of the past. So not a bad reading for Mercury retrograde, Gemini. Very, very nice. So those are your messages. I am wishing you all the very best. Take care. Hello, Cancer. Let's go ahead and look at your energies of return during this Mercury retrograde. And I am looking at the positive aspect of this. We have so many retrogrades right now. The eclipse is happening. It's just, let's look at something positive, okay? I really want to keep these positive, give you something to look forward to. So let's see what energy is being reactivated inside of you during this Mercury retrograde, okay? Because this is what's returning to Cancer from the past, but in a positive sense, okay? So what's being reactivated inside of you? Ooh, we have Neptune. So this is, you know, something that you really desired, a fantasy that you wanted to make into reality, a dream, you know, this is great energy. This is the fantasy landscape, right? This is where we can either be illusioned or the illusion can actually be real magic, but this is in the positive sense. So to me, the law of attraction is written all over this Mercury retrograde for Cancer, where, you know, it's something that you really longed for, tried to manifest, dreamed about in the past is actually going to manifest during this Mercury retrograde for you guys. So that's excellent, excellent energy, Cancer. Let's go ahead and pull a couple more cards to see what's accompanying that Neptune energy that's being activated inside of you guys. All right, so that card wanted to come out. Okay, so we have the High Priestess of Air. Yep, this is definitely something that you guys really fantasized about, really wanted to manifest, put a lot of mental and emotional energy into, okay? And now, wow, we have the reminder of the past. Taurus, Gemini, and now you have received this. And this is the card of something of the past returning in the now. So, Cancer, you guys have something that you really, really wanted in the past coming back to you during this Mercury retrograde, okay? And what that is different for each and every one of you. Some of you, this is a dream to make into reality. Some of you, this is like something you really longed for, like a reconnection of a relationship, an actual relationship, okay? This could be a brand new relationship showing up for you. But with reminder here, it's telling you, whatever it is, Cancer, the energy that's returning to you of the past, to make it successful this time around, make sure that you make different choices than you did before, okay? Whatever sabotaged you in the past or caused the destruction in the past, make a different choice this time and you will have success. See things very logically with the higher mind and you will have success, all right? But ultimately, with these cards, it's something that you really, really desired in the past is now returning and manifesting through this Mercury retrograde. So what that thing is different for each and every one of you. Some of you, it's, you know, something smaller, and some of you, it's much, much larger. But the law of attraction is attached to this energy, not for every one of you, but I know some of you, this is about that. And it's like whatever is going to manifest in this retrograde, it's like that's where you get your your proof that where you're like, okay, yes, this is real. Things are energy. I am in much more control of myself than I thought I have been. So it's like that ultimate proof, the manifestation of ultimate proof that allows you to finally believe. And now, you know, instead of being back and forth, you're believing full on, and it's allowing for a much smoother ride for you, and allowing you to manifest things much easier going forward, okay? So something that you really desired from the past is manifesting during this Mercury retrograde, Cancer. So those are your messages, Cancer. I am wishing you all the very best. Take care. Hi, Leo. So we are going to look at the positive for this Mercury retrograde. I'm going to pull a card to see what's being reactivated inside of you, what energy is being, you know, reawakened inside of you from the past, and, you know, what things are returning to you, but in a positive sense, all right? We have so many retrogrades right now. We're in the peak of eclipse season. It's just, let's look at the positive. Let's have something wonderful to look forward to. So, Leo, let's see what energy is being reactivated inside of you. Ooh, you guys have Neptune. Cancer also received this as the energy being reactivated inside of them. So Leo, with this, something you've really been longing for, something you really desired, something you really fantasized about in the past is actually manifesting during this Mercury retrograde for you. Or, you know, if it's like a situation or a relationship that you lost in the past and you've really been desiring a reconnection, a mending of bridges, a reckoning, you know, a full understanding, just whatever it is for you personally, it's like this retrograde brings about that reconnection, understanding, reckoning, you know, whatever it is for you personally. So this is great energy, honestly. It's something you really wanted. Badly, you desired it, you fantasized about it, you longed for it, you could have illusioned yourself a bit about it. Okay, so let's pull a couple of cards to see what's attached to this Neptune energy for Leo of what's returning from the past. All right, so we have meditation. This here is where many of you took the high road, okay? If this was about a relationship and they rejected you and they pushed you out of their life or whatever, you kind of took a step back and you didn't retaliate, you didn't react, you gave them their space, okay? And even though you longed for them and you missed them and you wanted that relationship in your life somehow, some way, you stepped back and respected the boundaries, or, you know, just kind of washed your hands of it because there was no more you could do. And now it's like that's returning. Some of you, this is something that you've been really working to manifest for yourself through the law of attraction and that sort of belief system, all right, with meditation. And here it comes, manifest during Mercury retrograde. And the second card is belonging. Yes. I feel like a lot of you, this is about a relationship with somebody, whether it's romantic, a friend, a family member, some sort of business connections that you're desiring. It's like a reconnection to a relationship that you may, it could be lover. I mean, it really could be any type. This is general, so it's different for each and every one of you. But it's like a reconnection of that relationship, and it's much more balanced this time around. There's like deeper spiritual understanding in you, deeper spiritual understanding inside of that person. Others of you, again, this is about that creating that manifestation through the law of attraction, the power of your own mind, just some sort of belief system like that. It's like you're finally, it happens during this retrograde. And for some of you, it's like that ultimate proof that you need to believe 100%, where you're like, oh my God, this really is real. This does work. Holy cow. Others of you, if you've just been really like full of anxiety, really stressed out, not knowing where you fit in with friends, with family, with lover, just what's my place in this universe, you come into that understanding very deeply, very spiritually during this Mercury retrograde. And you're just zen. You're at one with yourself. You're at one with the universe. And you're happy. But overall, Leo, something you guys really desired in the past is coming to fruition during this Mercury retrograde. So it looks quite lovely. It's something that you have very much been wanting. Okay, so Leo, those are your messages for this Mercury retrograde. I am wishing you all the very best. Take care. Hi, Virgo. Oh, Virgo, look, look, look. I don't even know, I didn't mean it, but look, it's 333. Can you see that? And I'm about to do your reading, and it just worked out that way. Positive news all the way around, because I am intending these Mercury retrograde readings to be positive, We have so much intense energy right now. Let's look at what's returning to you during this Mercury retrograde in a very positive way, okay? What's positive? What's happening in that plane, that level of existence for Virgo? And those threes, beautiful, the Trinity, right? Body, mind, and soul, like the trifecta, perfection. So, Virgo, let's see what energy is being reactivated inside of you during this Mercury retrograde. Ooh, we got Mars, your fighting spirit, your ambition, your physical drive, your energy, your strength, your willpower, your ego, okay? You're going to be very full of yourself, but in a positive way. So if your energy level has been down, it's going to be elevated. If you've been feeling really down about yourself, that's about to change. You're going to start feeling much more positive about who you are, what you have to offer. You're going to just have this aggressive drive within to obtain what it is that you want, what it is that you desire. Remember, this is positive energy. So your fighting spirit is being reignited during this Mercury retrograde, Virgo. You're going to have a renewed sense of energy and direction. If you've just been feeling tapped out and depleted, it's like you're about to be refilled. So let's pull a couple more cards to see what's attached to this Mars energy for Virgo. Because Mars is the ruler of Aries, which is that first house. So this is very specific for you guys. It has more to do with self than anything else, I think. Okay, so we had, look at that. We had strength fly out. Your physical energy, drive, strength, and fighting spirit. So yeah, Virgo, your inner, outer, emotional, mental, spiritual, you name it, strength is being increased. It's returning. It's being reignited, reactivated, grown so big. And look at that confidence. Yes. And it's like a total restoration of self for Virgo during this Mercury retrograde, where if you've kind of forgotten that you're a pimp, or you've forgotten your value, what you have to offer, how beautiful you are inside and out, like all of those things are returning to Virgo, where you're like, you know what, I can face anything, I can make anything happen. Your self-esteem is elevating, your self-worth is rising, your respect for self, your honor for yourself, what you want is going to start to really matter to you. So if you've been putting your true desires and needs in the back seat to accommodate and appease other people, and over time it has really worn your energy down, has really chafed away at your self-esteem because you're not honored and valued and respected the way that you should be. It's just like you're always there, so you're taken for granted. It's like the universe is coming in during this Mercury retrograde and refilling your pitcher, okay? Your carafe, not just your cup, but the whole supply. Big time, recharging your batteries, giving you the strength, restoring your confidence, restoring your self-esteem. And how does that happen? By all the experiences that are playing out during this retrograde, the people returning to Virgo, saying, Virgo, I love you. Virgo, you're amazing. Virgo, you've always been there. Virgo, I need you. You know, it's just, I feel like Virgo is going to get a lot of positive attention during this Mercury retrograde, and it's going to make you realize how strong you truly are and how much you are there for other people. And it's like you're being restored, your batteries are being recharged. So Virgo, very beautiful energies being offered to you during this Mercury retrograde. Those are your messages. I am wishing you all the very best. Take care, Virgo. Hello, Libra. So I am going to keep this reading on the lighter side, and we're going to look at the positive things that are returning to you during this Mercury retrograde. There's just so much crazy energy right now with all these retrogrades and eclipse season. So I want to give you guys something to look forward to and be excited about. So let's pull a card here to see what energy is being reactivated inside of Libra during this Mercury retrograde. Wow, you guys got Mars. Virgo also received this card. So Libra, if your fighting spirit has been drenched, if your confidence and self-esteem has really gone down, if you've just like your energy level in general has been low, all of that's going to change during this Mercury retrograde. It's like the universe is filling your glass. You're being re-empowered, re-energized. You know, if you've kind of let go of the focus of your dreams and your future and where you're headed, you're going to become very laser focused. With this coming out, Mars representing the first house, you're going to be very focused on yourself and what you want out of the future for yourself, where you're headed. You're just going to be re-grounded. If you've been kind of pulled away from your path, if your energy level's been down, again, it's rising. You're just going to feel kind of renewed in a sense through this Mercury retrograde. So let's pull a couple more cards here, Libra, to see what else is returning to you. Your fighting spirit is returning to you. Your physical strength is returning to you. Your energy within is returning to you. So let's see what else is on that list. Right. So look at this oath. Yeah, I feel like many of you got swayed off your path by a person, by a situation, by depression, you know, just life circumstances. Like you got really pulled off some sort of path that was very personal to you. And through this retrograde, it's like it's putting you back on that path, and you are making an oath to yourself. You know, I'm never going to let my batteries get this low again, or I'm never going to self-sacrifice to this degree for another person again. You know, it's just promise to self. And look at this. Now we have playful. So there's a lot of fun returning to Libra. And you know what? Because we have oath and playful there, and Mercury retrograde is absolutely notorious for, you know, relationships reconnecting, whether they're friends, family, lovers, whether you had a falling out or you just lost touch, it doesn't matter. I think Libra is going to have some of those connections returning, and you know, that might make you feel really good about yourself, because they might be saying, hey Libra, you know, I really miss you. Hey Libra, I really want you in my life. You know, things aren't the same without you, or I just miss you, I need you. And you know, that might be what's revitalizing you, where you're like, I do matter, I am important. Because you know, if you've been dealing with a lot of rejection or people just taking you for granted, it could chafe away at your self-esteem. And with this, I just feel that Libra, you know, you're going to get that return of, hey, it wasn't your fault. I was wrong. You really matter. I miss you. I'm sorry. That type of energy. And for others of you, if you've just been going through a lot and you've been very serious, this retrograde is like taking weights off of you, and you're making like promises to yourself to never get that depressed again, to never talk to such and such again, to not make certain choices, not to get pulled off your path, and to be very happy. Okay, so this is positive energy for Libra, and I just think a lot of happiness is returning to you, and a lot of self-focus being on your path, as well as relationships. Okay, so those are your messages for Mercury retrograde, Libra. I am wishing you all the very best. Take care. Hi, Scorpio. So I'm going to pull a card here to see what energy is being reactivated inside of you during this Mercury retrograde. I want to keep this reading very positive because there is a lot of retrograde energies going on right now, along with eclipse energy, and it's a lot. So let's see what is positive that's returning to Scorpio during this Mercury retrograde cycle. And we're going to start by pulling a card to see what energies are being reactivated inside of you during this Mercury retrograde. All right, so you guys received Saturn, and this here is the reward, the return of positive karma, okay? Because Saturn is all about, you know, our teacher, you know, teaching us our life lessons, keeping us focused on our life journey, and rewarding us when we have done well, and then also bringing down the heavy hammer when we have not done well. So Saturn is the planet of karma, and that being activated inside of you, but we're looking at things from a positive aspect, Scorpio. What this tells me is this is a positive return to you of karma, where you have finally learned that lesson, or you did make the right choice. You were honest. You did walk the path. You were true blue, okay? This is a positive karma returning to Scorpio during this Mercury retrograde. And since Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and Capricorn is the 10th house, many of you, this could have to do with your career, where you're being recognized, or you're being promoted, or you're receiving a raise, or you're getting a really amazing job with a new company, okay? Others of you, this reward of karma is playing out, you know, in a different area of your life. This is a general reading. So let's pull a couple more cards to see what, you know, this is talking about specifically. Okay, so we did have a jumper, and that's focus. Yeah, Scorpio, this is a return of your beautifully focused, positive energy. All right, that is what's coming back to you. Look at, she's shooting the arrow towards Saturn, the karma, positive karma, and even the coloring on both cards complements each other quite well. And down, look at this, the warrior. Yes, Scorpio. This is during Mercury retrograde, whether it's a relationship, it has to do with your job, it has to do with money, a situation, you know, this is a general reading, so it's a different return for each and every one of you. But this, honest to God, the most positive thing that plays out for you during this Mercury retrograde, know that that is your beautiful, perfect, positive karma returning to you, because we have focus and the warrior. And this is like nose to the path, not doing anything wrong, being incredibly honest and full of self-discipline, okay? Where you took the high road. If somebody screwed you over, you, instead of reacting or retaliating or seeking revenge, you let it go, and you trusted the universe to balance that situation out. Even if you felt like things were really unfair to you, you said, nope, I'm going to let go, and I'm going to let God. I'm going to let the universe sort all of this out, and I'm just going to work and focus on me, okay? Some of you, that's what this was about, and now here you're going to get the reward of that, for whatever that means for you, okay? For others of you, this is where you've just been really, really working hard, being very focused on self-improvement, doing the right thing, being a good, beautiful person, just all of it, and bam, here is your reward. So I see some sort of awesome, positive return coming to Scorpio during this Mercury retrograde, and it's all about your own focused energy, taking the high road, and not seeking revenge, trusting the universe to sort it all out. And now you're going to see that the universe has totally had your back the entire time, Scorpio. Very, very lovely reading for this Mercury retrograde for you guys. So those are your messages, Scorpio. I am wishing you all the very best. Take care.